But the role of business partner becomes very critical, not just for looking into the dashboards and data, but in terms of how are we interpreting it. We need to challenge leaders. We need to navigate ambiguity because there's this whole interesting combination now that we have the human and AI agent. We should not just rely on AI alone for decisions. We should just use them as guiding points, especially in areas like hiring, promotions. It's a support tool. It's not a replacement for human judgment. The roles are not getting defined by JDs. We are just moving from culture fit. We are shifting more in terms of culture addition or culture creation. Employees, they won't be defined by the job titles, but they will be defined more by the evolving skill sets. So that's a shift I see over the next 5 to 10 years. So a lot of articles are going around about engineers being replaced by AI. So I would say that is actually a myth.
Welcome to ValueMatrixTV, where we decode the science and poetry of HR with the help of experts who live and breathe it every day. My name is Ajay Singh and our expert of the day is Preetha MC. She has a vast experience in the HR industry and is currently the Director of HRBusinessPartner at Freshworks. So Preetha, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ajay, and thanks for having me here. It's great to connect with you today.
Fantastic. You being a HR business partner yourself, what capabilities have you seen AI? What capabilities in terms of analytical work and administrative work that you've seen in AI that has left you amazed? And do you think this will further evolve your role as a business partner?
Yeah, see, as a HR, I would first take the HR business partner role, how it is shaping up or how it is evolving. See, there is a lot of data out there these days. It's not that we don't scrape for information anymore. So there's a lot of data available, but the role of business partner becomes very critical, not just for looking into the dashboards and data, but in terms of how are we interpreting it, how are we challenging the data that's there, how are we turning the data into business actions, right? Business decisions and applying our own judgment there. So that's where I see that the whole HR business partnership role itself becomes more strategic, more into how do we coach leaders in org design, how do we coach them or guide them through the workforce strategy. So that's where I see our entire role shaping up. And therefore, there are certain skills that I would see as non-negotiables for the future, or I would say even today. One is, as HR business partners, we cannot just be HR focused anymore. We need to build that business acumen. That becomes a non-negotiable. We need to understand business better, and in fact, even before or even better than the stakeholders, I would say. Data fluency, not just with reading dashboards, but then asking the right questions behind the data. And last but not the least, the influencing and the storytelling part. Insights are valuable, but then they become valuable only if they drive action with that, right? So these are the few things that I see as non-negotiable. And of course, the courage and the judgment. We need to challenge leaders. We need to navigate ambiguity because there's this whole interesting combination now that we have the human and AI agent. So how do we guide and coach leaders around, navigating the organization dynamics now in this new world? So I would say these are certain non-negotiables.
Fantastic. AI is often sold as an antidote to bias. We just spoke about human decision making. So, this was one area where AI was supposedly much better than humans when it comes to eliminating bias or being unprejudiced when it comes to making hiring decisions. So what has been your experience regarding this, and do you believe that it has actually been able to eliminate bias, or has it just scaled up bias?
Yeah, see, it's actually a very important question, but my view on this is, be it any system, what you put in is what you get out. So if and AI is no different, right? So if you put in whatever bias or anything that has been existing in the system today, that data, if we feed into it, it will be providing us, or in fact, it will scale the bias more and provide us insights based on that. We should not just rely on AI alone for decisions. We should just use them as guiding points, especially in areas like, hiring, promotions. It's a support tool. It's not a replacement for human judgment. That's how I would put it. And also, we need to keep reviewing the outcomes regularly. So, for example, there could be certain groups consistently getting filtered out, and we may just, overlook that. So, if we keep reviewing the AI tools that we have, we can actually catch those aspects easily and quite early. And also, we need to be mindful of what we are trying to optimize for. So, moving away from things like pedigree, the culture fit. So, all of this, yeah, more into how do we look at skills and potential. So, we need to be very mindful of what we are trying to do with these systems. So, ultimately, we should not just trust AI blindly, but then we need to use it carefully, with a human oversight and consistent checks and frequent checks. So that's how I would say that we can eliminate bias even with the AI in place.
So you spoke about human capability. Well, threading on that similar topic, there is another word that has entered the HR lexicon, which is culture fit. And a lot has been spoken about culture fit. A lot has been written about culture fit. So, what has been your experience with culture fit in terms of AI?
See, I think we are just moving from culture fit. We are shifting more in terms of culture addition or, culture creation. So that's the kind of skill set that we have started looking for, not anymore culture fit as such. But yeah, if you look at the current existing AI tools that we have, culture fitment, it can actually provide some significant direction on our entire hiring process. So especially when we look into aspects like, say, if you're going to feed in more richer skills based behavior based data, not and beyond just resumes, into the AI tools, it can provide you some objective insights on whether this person will fit into the culture or not. But then the point now is we are not looking into culture fit anymore, because whenever we say culture fit, we historically look at how we want to replicate same kind of individuals. So we have had a pattern, right? In looking into people, our existing people are who look, who think, who behave in a particular way, and we look at people in the same way, right? So that's what we call as really culture fitment. But going forward, we'll have to start looking more in terms of culture addition. So it's more into what kind of new perspectives can this person bring in, what kind of value addition can this person bring in. So that's how we have started looking at it.
All right. So are there any specific parameters that you follow in order to ensure culture addition, or is it merely visceral? So, what is your approach when it comes to assessing culture addition?
Yeah, see, when we look at culture parameters, I would say so as an organization, every organization has this vision, right, where we want to reach, or how should our people agenda look like? What are people teams? How do we envision the people team to move forward? And every organization has a value system, and we want a value system for the future. And those are the parameters that we assess, and that is where the human judgment actually comes in place, because today AI can provide you insights on culture fitment, but it cannot really provide you insights on the culture addition part. So that's where the human judgment comes in play. We as HR business partners, we play an active role in coaching leaders on how they can look at the value addition part during the interview process.
Continuing this similar topic of culture, so we spoke about addition, we spoke about fitment. What do you have to say about barriers? Have you faced any cultural barriers when it comes to implementing or executing, or rather onboarding AI in your organizations? Has it been smooth sailing, or have you faced some sort of resistance?
I won't say it has been smooth for any organization for that matter, right? And it is all it's all very cultural. So that's like the primary thing, and the most important aspect is it has to be driven top down, and the leaders will have to demonstrate their AI adoption and their growth mindset towards how they want to drive AI in the org. So obviously there have been some resistances. So first and foremost, I work in a SaaS organization, right? And there is a lot of articles going around about engineers being replaced by AI. So I would say that is actually a myth. So first of all, the whole fear, I would say that's one problem that's always been there. The lack of trust, where they don't fully trust the AI outputs. Of course, you should not fully trust, but then when you don't understand how AI actually works, so that lack of trust is an issue. And also the whole point of we have been doing things in a certain way, so why should we change? So the comfort with the status quo, that is creating some level of resistance in the organization. So as I said, what's important is how do we as leaders, how could we be role models and show to the organization and to the teams on to build that AI curiosity, a move from the fear mindset to more of a growth mindset. How can we kind of upskill our talent towards AI? So it's not just about tools, right? It's about the mindset and adaptability. So how leaders can drive that. So these are barriers that we have faced, and this is how we are trying to navigate through role modeling and upskilling opportunities.
So you have been in the role of an HR partner and a leader for a very long time. So what one area you've had the biggest impact when it comes to AI?
One area is the way we actually look at our talent, right? The whole lens that we apply, not a reactive one, but a proactive one. And even when we are looking at our skills, it is shifting. So it's getting job roles are not getting defined by JDs. It's getting more defined with the kind of skills and capabilities one brings to the table. So that's like the biggest shift that I am seeing. And also, there is this whole thing of the AI talent marketplace that's coming up, where we don't chase behind candidates anymore. These are opportunities. The candidates bring in their readiness, and that's how the matching happens. So we match people to opportunities dynamically. So that is what is changing in my view, and the way we are looking into the talent and the upskilling in the entire organization. That is also kind of really taking a big impact.
So when we speak about future, do you see any particular area where AI will have its biggest impact? Let's say 5 or 10 years down the line, do you see one area being heavily impacted?
Yeah, as I said, right. So this whole the way we are looking at talent, so it's not going to be role based anymore. So we're going to be moving away from fixed roles to understanding work as a set of skills. So any employee who actually brings in that skills and capability, that employee or that such talent is going to kind of take over. Then the rest of the folks who are not adapting or who are not enabling themselves into AI. So it's going to become more like matching people to opportunities dynamically, and also employees, they won't be defined by the job titles, but they will be defined more by the evolving skill sets. So that's a shift I see over the next 5 to 10 years. So the danger is for people who are not understanding this now and who are just still waiting for the whole AI wave to pass and then say that, okay, let me now see what to do about it. So those guys are actually, that's the danger that we have. We need to be curious. We need to keep upskilling ourselves. We need to try and be on the run with the whole AI development that's happening, because it's quite fast. It's quite dynamic, and we need to keep having the eye on what is happening out in the rest of the world and try and see how we can actually implement that in our own HR world.
If there is one advice you would like to give to early career professionals, people who are just starting out, especially at the intersection of technology amid so many changes, what would be that one piece of advice or more than one advice you would like to give to all the people who are starting out in the field of HR as of now?
Yeah, I would certainly go for more than one. So, but first of all, staying curious, and you should be adaptable. I keep harping on it. So staying curious, having that lens of always upskilling themselves. So that is supposed to be the first and foremost. The second thing I would say is you need to know the business. So it's not just about technology. The real impact comes when you actually solve problems. So you need to understand the business. So the business acumen part becomes very important. And we need to build the data literacy. So you need to be comfortable asking questions, interpreting insights. As I said, data is there, but then you need to know what to do with that data. So you need to interpret insights out of it. That is very important. And finally, the communication and storytelling skills, right? Because your ability to translate the data into decisions is what really creates the differentiation. That's how you set yourself apart, right? That's what I would say to the earlier career professionals. These are very important.
Okay, so I'll just ask you two quick questions, and you can answer the first thing that comes to your mind. So, what one AI tool you cannot live without?
Okay, I'm not going to call out any fancy tool. I would always say, it's either the Gemini tool or the ChatGPT. In fact, not just for official purposes, right? We also use that a lot for personal purposes. I'm a new mother, so I have a 1-year-old. So I keep asking so many questions to Gemini and to ChatGPT on a lot of things. There is a very joke that between me and my husband, we say we probably talk to ChatGPT more than we talk to each other. But yeah, that's a danger sign, right? But yeah, these are a couple of tools that I really think I can't live without.
Okay. And one big myth about AI that you would like to debunk?
Myth is that it's going to create the job uncertainty part. That is a myth, I would say. And that may become true only if we don't upskill ourselves. So that's the myth.
Well, that brings an end to a wonderful and insightful conversation. Thank you so much for your valuable time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ajay.
So, viewers and listeners who are passionate about building teams, modernizing HR, you can head over to ValueMatrixTV for more such conversations. Do not forget to follow and subscribe to our channel on social platform. Thank you for listening to us today at ValueMatrixTV, where we unravel the world of HR as it develops. Goodbye.